Going on. My rant. It's gonna be one of my new segments. My rant is gonna be against so-called hip hop producers. If you sampling, looping, and and jacking beats and grooves, you're not a producer. You're a beat maker. All you did was get some white money from the plantation and the business and put your name over the original works. I had an interesting commentary about Leon Haywood's "I Want to Do Something Freaky to You," which ended up being Dr. Dre's "Nothing But a G Thing." And Dr. Dre's gone on and been quite wealthy and successful. And of course, in the movie, they made it sound like he came up with it. They have fooled a whole generation of ears into believing that they are producers. They're like some turkey even parted their lips to Quincy Jones about Kanye West. And Quincy said, well, can he write concertos? Can he write concertos? Can he compose charts? Kanye can't even spell charts. There is a difference between a beat maker and a producer. That's what I tried to say about when Babyface handed it to Teddy Riley on the platter. I love Teddy's New Jack Swing and the sound, but he was a beat maker dude. He wasn't a producer who understood the nuances and textures that a producer gets. You get a real producer like a Tom Bell, and you're not listening to no Dr. Dre, a real producer. You're not. Guys who understand depths and tones. I can talk about Charles Stephanie and George Martin. I can talk about Nile Rodgers and Bernard Ayers. I can go into that. Those are producers. You know, Maurice White, production. I can mention people who know how to produce. You can't go like some turkey like Timberland, who is a decent beat maker, but that ain't no producer. He turns knobs. Don't confuse a producer with someone who turns knobs and samples. They made a lot of money, but they couldn't find a C note on a piano. They can't tell you what a half note, whole note is. They can't tell you what a George G sharp is. Things that you just get manipulated by. And I'm gonna say it like this. Yeah, I dug hip hop. I have rappers that I really like. Music that I really like. But there's been a lot of foolery. People have been manipulating uh, so-called musicianship, but they've been calling themselves producers and act like they're something special. They're not. They're not. Pharrell, for instance, to me, is fake or real. I don't hear no depth in what he do. He sampled jacks like a lot of them do. Kanye too. Nothing special. You a beat maker? I'll give you your due as a beat maker. But don't sit up here and tell me that you're going to produce something that has a lasting sound that's original. You know, I liked the Bomb Squad, what Public Enemy used to be able to do, and they produced Ice Cube's America's Most Wanted, which is one of my favorite hip hop albums ever. But they sampled or based on a lot of samples and loops. You can't do that today. Today, your budget would be ran out. You'd be drained paying everything off. You cannot lie, but that's what the music industry did. The racist music industry, what they did is they lied to the public. They were too hateful and spiteful to acknowledge the original authors and producers of the music and sold it to lesser weights who sampled, greenlighted a sample on clearance and wrote a beat over it. And they got credit as being some super producers when they're not. Dr. Dre, Puffy, and them are not super producers, or Timberland, or Pharrell. That's beat makers, and that's marketing and time things, but that's not production. That's not the same. They watered down for R&B. They watered down with something, and you ask yourself, how is it that Dr. Dre can capitalize off the P-Funk catalog and what have you, and P-Funk themselves can't, when they're the originators of it? You ask yourself how ruthless and vindictive this industry is. They have allowed tier below acts to put their names over music that they can't create. They push button acts. They're not producers. Here's a big difference. But this is what that hokey industry does. That's why when you watch these shows now, the award shows, they're so tacky turkey talentless because ain't nobody coming up with no sounds. And they're regurgitating so visually parts of imagery of the stuff, trying to rebrand stuff. They don't have the goods. You don't have the goods. That's what it's showing you. Can't either write or can't produce or can't put it where it needs to be. And there's nothing like the old school that puts it there. And I'm not going to get on the box and say, well, everything was all better back then. But I'm going to say this. You knew who a producer was, and you knew somebody that did remixes and beat. There's a big difference. And it's a shame that the two have been blurred for so long to sell something that's not authentic. And I will tell you, read album credits, look up stuff. Because a lot of what they're pushing, these cats ain't that talented. Not like that. They've been faking the funk. And I'd rather have the old school funketeers get their due than some jive turkey who pushes their name over it lazily. All right, that's my thoughts and takes about a lot of these hip hop producers are been jacking the real authentic R&B and they need to be called out. Hit that like and subscribe when the bell rings a new video. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for one another. Don't trust no racist music industry, and read the credits and find out who the originators are. Stop selling for turkeys who don't have much to begin with, but they've been pimped and programmed by the plantation. I'm out.